Back again with another stream, another live, another series. As in, we're gonna be listening again to the Bible. Yeah, so we're gonna be listening. We still on book one, Genesis. So far, my how I feel about God and how He been in the Bible so far. I'm like, it's no wonder I had a lot of questions about it, because a lot of that still don't make sense to me. But once again, I am just a human. Like, so who's to say my understanding is like is very minor on the level of the creator of this earth. So I'm just a person who questions a lot of things. I'm interested in reading books. And I like smoking weed. So any new people gonna come in here tonight who's probably religious Christians, they probably gonna try to judge like, hey, what are you doing smoking? That's not God like. Fuck that. I do what I want. So should we let a couple more people come in before we start the book? But then again, everybody should have read the Bible, so it ain't like you need to go back. I mean, but I do be saying different things like some stuff, so it ain't even all about the book. It's about the game within the book. I'm actually very proud of myself for the simple fact I've been getting on here every single day. Still, I haven't like missed a day of posting a video, at least one video on YouTube. Shit, even when YouTube be tripping and they don't be letting me post, I still like manage to post at least one time a day, like at least one video. It may not be as short, but at least best believe I'm gonna hop on this live. So that's helped me as far as my monetization journey. We less than 400 hours watched away from 2,000 watch time hours, and then once we get that, so we're around like 2,400 left. Like so, I'll guess in like less than 6 months, probably like by June, July, the beginning of July, I will be monetized if I just keep grinding, and not if, but when I keep, as I keep grinding, because this is an everyday thing. And make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up before I start the book. Really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm. Make sure y'all comment tonight. If y'all interested in other books, let me know as well so we can listen to those. So let's get into the Bible again.
Went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Chapter 19. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said,
Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways.
And they said,
Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him,
Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said,
I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
And they said,
What? This dude was willing to give up his daughters, like, even though they're angels that came into his house. He gonna say, hey, y'all can have my daughters, just don't touch these two dudes. He didn't know they was angels. Something not right like that. Like, people been, like, quick to give up their woman, like, save their own ass, save somebody else's ass they don't even know. Like, so a lot kind of funny. I'd have been like, hey, ain't no point in y'all coming here. Which y'all need to come. They didn't come to see y'all. Like, how you know these people ain't coming to see me? Like, so I see why fucking God destroyed that fucking town. But God just been destroying. Like, we still in Genesis. How many times have God like said, all right, let me start over? Cause these motherfuckers is out of control.
Stand back.
And they said again,
This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
and they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they weary themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot,
Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said,
Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city.
I
But he
wonder how
seemed
the
as one that
son-in-laws feel. Like, the dad was willing to give up the daughters, and they married already. Like, how that work? If I was a son-in-law, I'm like, man, you give up your own wife. Don't give up my wife. And you know they savages out there.
talked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying,
Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said,
Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
And Lot said unto them,
Oh, not so, my lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live.
and he said unto him,
See, I
Make
have
sure y'all get
accepted
this
thee
video
concerning
thumbs
this
up.
thing
I would
also,
really appreciate
that
it.
I will not overthrow this city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither.
Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham gat up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the city.
So don't that mean if Abraham looked at Sodom and Gomorrah, he should have turned into a pillar of salt as well? Because if Lot wife turned around, like, it's those same rules should apply to anybody who looked at what's going on. Like, but then again, I understand how like God favored Abraham.
Of the plain, that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger,
Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Whoa, wait, what? We gonna get our dad drunk. We gonna sleep with him so we can have his seed can be carried on. I mean, I know this is way back in the days, Like, so, but still, come on now. Who said y'all wouldn't have found no man in the future? Like, what made y'all want to go sleep with y'all dad? Like, what the fuck? Y'all shouldn't have just had no kids there. Like, who's that? They said it was the oldest daughter idea to get the dad drunk and sleep with him. Fucking nasty.
Made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger,
Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also. And
It
go
didn't work
thou
the
in,
first
and
time
lie
yet.
with
You
him,
gonna try it
that
again?
we may preserve seed of our father.
And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab.
Wait,
The
oh
same is the
shit,
father of
they
the Moab.
did. He did sleep with him. Then. What the fuck kind of wine was they drinking? Cause ain't no type of wine in this world, alcohol in this world can make me do some shit like that. What the? Yo, this Bible is a crazy book so far. We, like I said, we still in Genesis, like the first few chapters. And this, God didn't like been destroying people. Girl, you ain't got no Cheez-Its in here.
Guess who ate my Cheez-Its?
I don't care, Thing.
Anisha ate my Cheez-Its.
I don't care. Bro, guess who ate my Cheez-Its? Girl, Moab. Goddamn, girl, sleep with, close the door.
Unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Benammi. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto
So
this
they
day.
granddad is they dad. Literally. He didn't fucking pay attention that they got pregnant. Like he ain't put two and two together.
Chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham's
I already know. Like I'm just going over it. Like just listening to, cause I want to hear it again. Like I've never took the time to like just read it straight through. Like, and every time I did, I started judging some shit, and I just stopped reading. Now I'm just gonna listen to it all the way through. But yesterday I said like I know this is a fairy tale basically. I know it's just a story, but at the same time, this book is controlling millions of people's lives, and they're not judging it. They just say, "Oh, this is real. Everything in here is real. This is the law," but it's not. And if they was to take the time and read, like they'd be like, why am I following this?" So yeah, you're gonna hear me say a lot of stuff about what's going on in the book. It's not to like down talking nobody's beliefs. This is just like things that I was reading, like just growing up over time. You read certain things in the Bible and you're like, wait, that don't make sense. But since you a kid, you can't really question it to your parents or the pastor. So like now what I'm doing is like doing this on live so I could just have everything like exactly. They walk on blind faith and they don't know where they're going. It's the blind leading the blind. Like so.
Sarah his wife.
This
She
gonna
is
wake
my
some people
sister.
up,
And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him,
Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said,
Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And even she herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this.
And God said unto him in a dream,
Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart.
So he's saying
For I
lying is
also
cool,
withheld thee
honestly.
from sinning against
They done
me.
lied a couple times.
Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine.
Therefore Abimelech rose early in
But
the
y'all
morning
want to
and
know,
called
like,
all his
understanding, like, since I read, like, since we've been listening so far, Like, just understanding how the God in this Bible operates. He don't operates off love. He operates off fear, destruction. Like, do what I say. Like, trickery. Like, it's. So I'm not saying like he's a bad person, but this, like, hey, this is creation. This, if that's how you want to operate, by all means, let him operate like this. But not, if you wasn't here yesterday, you gotta read, you gotta watch the live stream from yesterday so you can understand like fully what I'm talking about. Because people, if they was just hop on this one, they're like, oh, he's dissing God. I'm not, like, I don't believe in this religion. Like, what I believe in, like, it ain't no, the way the Bible talks about God is like he's a man. Like, he gets angry, he gets jealous, he got a big ego. Like, just off listening to this Bible, like, so I know that's not the creator of all. The I know that. Like, this is just probably the God of this planet, of his heaven and this earth. He's not the, probably not the God of Mars, Jupiter. They got their own gods. Like, so the one that's in this Bible though, like, he's not operating off love. It's not one time like, I ain't. Have y'all heard the term love, the word love yet in the Bible? Like, in the first, uh, in Genesis. Like, so far, he didn't kill people. Uh, he didn't destroy nations. Hey, gotta delete this person. This motherfucker come in every single day. This shit. But like, this motherfucker came in distracting me. I hate motherfuckers like that.
And told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him,
What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done.
And Abimelech said unto Abraham,
What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing?
and Abraham said,
Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father.
He said, I don't question the beginning because I guess it had to happen for us to prosper in the future. Man, I question everything. Anything that don't make sense to me, I'm going to question it. Because who says the actual truth? Like, I want to know the truth. Like, so, me understanding that this is, like, based on around, like, 6,000 years ago, and I knew Egyptians was here 25,000 years ago. And then I know that Atlantis, that's a real place. They was here, like, 50,000 years ago. Like, so I know the Bible is not like the all end all be all, because they wasn't worshiping no God. And like, they was all gods. They was all operating on like their highest level of intelligence and like spirituality. They was all tapped in. Like, so they had this, they had the secret. Actually, it's more than one God. Honestly, it's multiple. So you got, if you just check out mythology, if you a person that's into like Zeus and fucking Hermes, Hades, I am. Like, shit, those let you know like there it's a god of everything. Like, it's a god of nature, it's a god of fire, god of water, like, it's a god of love. Like, it's not just one God. Well, honestly, in the Bible it says that's the God of heaven and earth. Like, so this, that we talking about one God. We got one perspective of a certain individual. And honestly, who's telling the story so far? You gotta do Buddhism next. That would teach the core principle of being human. Hey, we can do that next. What book though? Like, what's the Buddhism book? I've tapped into Buddhism as in just like learning a few things, but I never like read a book. I know it's a Confucius. I don't know if he got a book, but he has like just things that he's. But he wasn't Buddhism. That's his thing. So then Taoism. I don't. Once again, not for sure that's Buddhism, but I done read some stuff on Taoism, and that's like over there. So whatever got the game in it,
but
that's what
not
we
the
do.
daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother.
And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said,
Behold my land.
First of all, Abraham 99, Sarah 90. So they had to still be looking super young, and plus they was living for hundreds of years. So like shit, how many months was in a year back then? Like for a person to live 900 years or 120 years, 300 years old, how many months was considered in a year back then? Because it couldn't have been 12. Like, they didn't have no calendar. They wasn't operating off no calendar. Like, so what was they operating off of? I know Egyptians, they was operating off the stars. That's how they knew time. Or that's how they created time. But in the Bible, what was they operating off of? Was they operating off the stars too? Because that's astrology. And I'm pretty sure the Bible doesn't agree with astrology. So, just curious thoughts.
Before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee.
And unto Sarah he said,
Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes, unto all that are with thee, and with all other.
Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children.
But he
For
already
the
had a
Lord had
wife.
fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah.
But they couldn't have kids. See, they were just taking niggas' wives back then. Like, I mean, honestly, Abraham and Lot and them, they be lying saying, oh, no, this is my sister. But they be getting their sisters took and they don't do nothing about it. But God always step in like, hey, you touch her, it's a wrap for you. Like, so that's what makes him always get a woman back. But at the same time, like, damn, you ain't have no type of backbone, like, to, like, defend, like, somebody trying to take your wife. Like, what's up with that?
Abraham's wife. Chapter 21.
I wish I would.
And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said,
God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me.
And she said,
Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne
Abraham
him a
told your
son
ass
in
a
his
year
old...
ago and you laughed and said, I wasn't laughing. Sarah, if y'all was here yesterday, you know Sarah ain't shit. She gonna find Abraham a mistress to get pregnant because she wasn't able to bear kids. And once the mistress got pregnant, Sarah got jealous and beat her ass. And then God came along to the mistress and say, hey, go back to the wife. And then like act like nothing happened. Like, so it's crazy.
age.
And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham,
Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bond...
She's still on bullshit. Sarah's still on bullshit. She said, oh, now I got my son. Kick this bitch out and her son. Like, that's his son, too. People know better back then. There's actually a video on YouTube of a pastor sleeping with his son because... Wow. Wow. Like, what the fuck? The fuck?
and shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham,
Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called, and also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba, and the water was spent in the bottle. And she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said,
Let me not see the death of the child.
And she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of...
Yo, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
And said unto her,
What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation.
And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that...
Look, you know Abraham was black, because he was making bitches sing... Let me not call her a B-word. But he was making women's, like, single baby mamas. But it wasn't even him, like, and God had him listening to his wife because she was jealous. Like, it don't make sense. Like, I don't know. Like, once again, this is a book. It's not literal. I gotta keep reminding myself that.
Time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, spake unto Abraham, saying,
God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned.
And Abraham said,
I will swear.
And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said,
I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today.
And Abraham took sheep and oxen, and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham,
What mean these 7 ewe lambs, which thou hast set by themselves?
And he said,
For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me, that I have digged this well.
Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they sware both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called thereon the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines.
Wait, hold on. I was in deep in thought, right? I'm like, you know what the Bible paints the picture as so far? That women are the bad guys. I'm like, women are bad people. They painted Eve as like she's the first one who ate the apple. She fucked up Adam and all that. Then she gave birth to Cain, evil ass. Then how they painting the picture of Sarah, like she ain't no positive individual. They haven't brought to us not one positive woman yet in the Bible. Like, so as far as I know, if I'm a kid reading the Bible, I'm already looking at women like with a side eye. Like I can't trust them. Because what I'm told to believe, like they're told, when I was growing up, I was told to believe like the Bible is that was it. That's the real thing. Like everything in that mug is true. Like, so imagine reading something all the time and it's like just mentally programming you to think that's it. So I mean, it was a man. Exactly. Who was biased? Like, the person who wrote this is biased as fuck. I know it ain't got nothing to do with the universal creator. He ain't got nothing to do with this book. Like, Jesus, they probably, like you said, Jesus was real. and they built all of that around him. Like they built, like they, Jesus came in, did his thing, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna make a religion surrounded by him, but we gotta get a story first. Like, so they built the story around Jesus. Like, so this Bible is, I don't know. Genesis is showing me like the Bible was a man who wrote this. It wasn't no spirit who wrote this. They want women to be considered less than or evil, can't make the right decision. And then like God is destroying shit left and right. Like, God damn. Like, you get one time with God to fuck up. We also learned that he's forgetful. He left Noah in the middle of the ocean, like, because he forgot about him. Like, so it mentioned today, like, God remembering something, like, so, as a, you gonna come sit here and conversate?
Do you not see my hair?
What's wrong with you?
See my hair?
You can put a bonnet on.
No, I gotta wash it. I'll come tomorrow. I'll come join tomorrow, y'all.
Was you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So how do you feel about the Bible painting women as in like the negative light?
I don't like it.
But growing up, how did you feel like knowing like Eve is the one who bit the apple?
I never thought that was true.
You didn't think that was true?
Still don't think it's
So
true.
you thought the Bible was lying?
Yeah, I didn't think it was true.
Why you never say nothing?
You know how Christians are.
I'm speaking my mind. Alright. Oh, so you always felt like the Bible was lying. But there's some people who like
Who live solely for the Bible. And it's crazy because you will notice like the people who follow the Bible word for word for word
don't even live it, honestly.
don't live it.
But they can bring. Somebody commented on my post today about Nipsey Hussle. I post in my community. I shared something about Nipsey Hussle. Okay, and he was on some negativity. Huh? No, I didn't. Oh, about yeah, I did. But he was talking about. He said something negative about Nipsey Hussle, and I'm like, hey, don't start attacking Nipsey. Talking about his music was leading people like that's I'm doing the devil's work by Cher. I'm like, bruh. First of all, for you to be such a religious person, you're a hypocrite. And I had to share that John. I forgot what verse and chapter it was, but it's saying like, "He who haven't seen, may they cast the first stone." Like this, how is you claiming this person is such a bad person, but you act like your life perfect? And I'm pretty sure you don't want me to start diving in your life, cause I can like, bro. If people really knew me and my gifts, they'd be exactly what I'm like. If people knew the gifts I had, they wouldn't even comment no dumb shit on my shit. If they really knew who I was, they were like, oh, let me leave this person alone. Let him just post whatever the fuck he want to post. Cause every time somebody do some fucked up shit, think negative about me, try to get over on me anyway, karma just comes back like damn near 100-fold on them. Like every single time I've seen it with my own eyes, how people lives have just went from great to like, damn, what happened to you? Like, and I knew it was off the strength of them fucking their karma. Like I got a fucking spirit team like that's so strong. Like I really got an army behind me. The most religious people, they are 100% sure. The most judgmental people. I think I mentioned that about like, hey, you a hypocrite and you like judgmental, like, bruh. You are not living Jesus' ways. You're like, what the fuck? None of their ass do. But we reading, listening to this because we want to decode it. So far, it ain't been nothing to decode, but like, hey, how this nigga who wrote this shit, and they want women to be less than, and yeah, God don't. If you fuck up one time with God, God already don't like people who got other gods. Like he know he ain't the only one, so if he know you worship somebody else, he already don't fuck with you. And even if he do fuck with you, you fuck up one time, like he through with your ass. I mean, he ain't gonna be done with you, but he gonna like curse you. God is quick to curse motherfuckers. They ain't hurt him. They ain't harmed him. Adam and Eve didn't do nothing to harm God. But yet, once they ate that apple, he like, y'all curse for the rest of y'all lives. Like, this point on, you gonna be suffering. Like, damn. Yeah, let me know what had happened if I had bit the apple, cause then I would have decided, do I want to suffer those consequences, or like what? Like, so, like I said, I ain't gonna say God is a bad person. He created his game, and how in his rules of his game, like that's the way. Like whoever created GTA, they created the rules of the game. Whoever created Monopoly, they created the rules of the game. Like so. Once you gotta create your own game. That's what it is. Create your own shit.
Land many days. Chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him,
Abraham.
And he said,
Behold, here I am.
And
why is God tempting people? Okay. Go. I'm on live. God be tempting. No, you got your own. Girl, you got your own. Get out of here. Man, I always want my food. Got her own food. I don't even be able to get to eat all my food because she gonna come around like, can I have some? And then if I say no, she gonna just keep begging like, bruh, you ain't that hungry.
Take now thy son.
Thine own. Back in, like, God be like tempting motherfuckers because he want them to fail. He want to see if they gonna do it. And listen, like, bruh, just leave them alone. But I understand, like, sending people through tests, like, because that's what this earth is about, like, putting you through tests, and most of the time people just keep failing the same test. So Abraham was like a person who was not failing like Adam and Eve.
Son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men,
Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said,
My father.
And he said,
Here am I, my son.
And he said,
Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
And Abraham said,
My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering.
So they went, both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said,
Here am I.
And he said,
Lay not thine.
Bruh, God was just like having fun with humans. Like, bruh, he be making them do like, hey, let me see if he's gonna do this today. Like, probably just wake up on a random day, like, let me see how I can fuck with Abraham today. Like, see if he gonna kill his son. He already told the other, got rid of the other one, so you know Abraham don't give a fuck about them kids. He got rid of his baby mama and his other son, and knowing they would die in the wilderness if God never stepped through. Like, so he was willing to kill the other son, like, cause, hey, Indigo, what's up? We listen to the Bible, and I'm just like, I know the Bible is not meant to be fucking taken like this serious how I'm taking it, but Abraham, like, he don't give a fuck about them kids. He like, for real.
And upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son,
Bruh,
Thine
God already made Abraham circumcise his dick and every other man around him. What's up, T? What's up? Hey, that's the cuz was in here. But like I said, we listen to the Bible, but God be putting a testing Abraham, making him do shit that he didn't have to do just to test his loyalty. Like, why is God like that? Like, why you gotta test my loyalty to see if I fuck with you? Like, he been Abraham 100 years old. You don't think he been loyal this whole time? Like, he gonna, I don't know. But if I was in control of this shit, I'd probably be doing the same shit. Like, just testing motherfuckers. Like, hey, let me see this motherfucker loyal. You got to though, cause hey, God already knew how humans was. He knew they would turn their back. So Jesus didn't learn that lesson. Well, he knew like Judas was gonna betray him, but still, God ain't about to let no nigga betray him. Jesus wasn't testing his people, or well, he was, but it wasn't like how God was. God said, "Hey, go kill your motherfucking son right quick." Like, who gonna do that shit? I mean, I don't know if I would have did it. I don't know. But then again, God would have cursed your ass if you would. See, either way, you fucked.
Only son for me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said,
By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand.
What does that mean for Abraham? Abraham not gonna live to see his fucking like generations flourish, and look what they turned into. Like, God really cursed Abraham because this is a fucked up world. Like, ain't nothing good about these motherfucking I'm not about to call nobody out, but ain't nothing good about humans. Like, these some fucking devilish ass people. God should have fucking just got rid of this whole motherfucking planet. Like, soon as Eve fucked up, I be like, alright, I already see how this gonna go. Let me just end this shit. But God won't he wants you to fail. Like, literally, he wants you to fall. He don't want, bruh. We was listening to the part where he was talking about how everyone was speaking one language and it was building in Babel. They was building up to heaven, and he seen how conscious they was getting and how they was growing and how they was working together. So he like up. He came down, seen and said, "Fuck this shit. This ain't about to happen." Made everybody speak a different language. Now nobody understands what nobody is saying. Like, man, God is a man. You know he's a man. This ain't no fucking spirit. This ain't no like universal intelligence. Like, cause that ain't gonna. The person who created the mountains and the sky, like, I don't think it's the same person who created humans. Cause god damn, it can't be, like, for real. But then again, when you think about Earth and how Earth is, you got volcanoes, earthquakes, tornadoes, storms, all this fuckery. Like, this is like hell. This is literally hell. Like, so God is in charge of this, but that's who everybody worships. Like, hey, let's worship this guy, the one who's making us suffer. Nah, I know it's more gods out there. I know it's more entities and spirits out there. I know I can go anywhere. I don't gotta be stuck here. Like, literally, I don't have to. When I die, I would not have to reincarnate again in my life. Like, so most people, they gotta keep reincarnating because they don't fucking know. Like, so hopefully millions of people will watch this video later on in lifetime so they can wake up. Not to saying, hey, don't trust the Bible, but follow Jesus. Like, if you gonna follow somebody, like, if you take anything from the Bible, that was the perfect person who wasn't tempted. But even though, like, shit, you can't have 12 motherfuckers around you because one of them motherfuckers is gonna turn on you. Like, once again, God sent his only begotten son when he said, first of all, we gonna no. Can you go? You interrupted. When I'm done, I'll give it to you. And I'll call you. Get out of here. Lock my door. Lock it. I'll give you something. Come here. Come here. See this? Get out of here. Leave me alone. Lock my door. Lock it. I don't want to see your face no more. Like, that's the devil right there. Interrupting. God damn. Somebody don't want me to go in on the Bible like this. So I'm going to just keep playing this book.
Is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
So Abraham returned unto his young
The ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them.
Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Chapter 7. And the Lord said unto Noah,
Come thou, and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
Oh, it went back to Noah. What the fuck? This shit is fucking ridiculous. That's the devil right there. Damn, good thing I be listening, because if I didn't, I'd be like...
Take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying,
Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
Nah, that's too far.
His brother's daughter unto his son. And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me. And if not, tell me.
I don't remember hearing that.
Says, and Sarah, my master's wife, bare a son to my master when...
Okay, I remember that.
And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her...
I don't remember Rebecca. Did Sarah have another kid?
in whose land I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. And
the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, the same as Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. Chapter 24. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had,
Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac.
And the servant said unto him,
peradventure the woman will not be...
I mean, I understand you want your blood to stay pure, but why is they so against, like, their fucking family, like, sons not marrying outside, like, the household? Like, that's some weird shit right there.
To follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest?
And Abraham said unto him,
Beware thou that thou bring not my son thither again. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house, and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that swear unto me, saying, Unto thy seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again.
And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and sware to him concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water, at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said,
O Lord God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass, that the damsel to whom I shall say, Let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink, and she shall say, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac.
No
And
wonder I've never
thereby
read
shall
straight
I
through the
know
Bible.
that
Some of
thou
this shit
hast
be
showed
like,
kindness unto my master.
And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that, behold, Rebekah came out, who was born of Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her, and said,
Let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher.
And she said,
Drink, my lord.
And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said,
I will draw water for thy camels also, until they have done drinking.
And she hasted and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again unto the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of 1/2 shekel weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands, of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said,
Whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in?
And she said unto him,
I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor.
She said moreover unto him,
We have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in.
And the man bowed down his head, and worshipped the Lord. And he said,
Blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, the Lord led me to the house of...
So far in the Bible, if you had your choice of gods to like believe in and like, yeah, that's my creator, would this guy be like your main choice? Or like, I mean, I'm more interested in like, Zeus was an asshole too. Fucking Set in Egyptian mythology, asshole. Ra, Osiris, they cool. Horus is cool. I like about Egyptian mythology, they got more women like Isis, like Hathor, Bast, like even Greek mythology that like they respect women. Like Athena, that's who I'm gonna name my daughter after, like the goddess of war and knowledge and wisdom. Like shit. But in this religion, as far as like women, like I wouldn't have no type of respect for them if like this is the first book I'm reading when I entered the world. Like if I was to have my own choice of religions and I had to read every single last book and I read this book, I'm like, oh, they don't like women. Like they treat women like shit, or they get to control women, because that's what this religion seems like. You want women are to be controlled and like just footstools. So, I mean, I ain't ever feel like that about women because I was raised by my grandma and my great grandma. So, like, they was not reading this, even though they was making us go to church every Sunday.
And master's brethren.
And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. And Rebekah had a brother, and his name was Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man under the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and bracelets upon his sister's hands, And when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, Thus spake the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said,
Come in, thou blessed of the Lord. Wherefore standest thou without?
See, that nigga got
For I
some
have
money.
prepared the house and room for the camels.
And the man came into the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the men's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him to eat. But he said,
I will not eat until I have told mine errand.
And he said,
Speak on.
And he said,
I am Abraham's servant, and the Lord hath blessed my master greatly. And he is become great, and he hath given him flocks, and herds, and silver, and gold, and men servants, and maid servants, and camels, and asses. And Sarah my master's wife bare a son to my master when she was old, and unto him hath he given all that he hath. And my master made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, Peradventure the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, The Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with thee, and prosper thy way. And thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred, and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from this my oath, when thou comest to my kindred. And if they get...
But, like, the crazy part about it, like, Abraham sent his assistant, but the whole time the assistant, like, you know he got feelings for old girl when that's the first chick he see that look good. Like, so that interaction right there, like, for them, like, I mean, maybe not. I don't know how it was back then. But why he sent his son to go find his own wife? Like, why did he send your assistant? Probably because they don't trust his son.
Not thee one, thou shalt be clear from my oath. And I came this day unto the well, and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if now thou do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water. And it shall come to pass, that when the virgin cometh forth to draw water, and I say to her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water of thy pitcher to drink. And she say to me, Both drink thou, and I will also draw for thy out for my master's son. And before I had done speaking in mine heart, behold, Rebekah came forth with her pitcher on her shoulder. And she went down unto the well, and drew water.
What was Rebekah's
and I said
real
unto
name?
her, Let me drink, I pray thee. And she made haste, and let down her pitcher from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will
He
give
probably
thy
was
camels
hoping
drink
like
also.
she wasn't the one that
So I
he
drank,
could date her, but
and she made the
ended
camels
up being
drink
the
also.
one.
And I asked her, and said, Whose daughter art thou? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bare unto him. And I put the earring upon her face, and the bracelets upon her hands. And I bowed down my head, and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, which had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter unto his son. And now, if ye will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me. And if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left.
Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said,
The thing proceedeth from the Lord. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her, and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Lord hath spoken.
And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the...
You want to get a girl? Say, pray for the exact one that you want. Like, literally, pray for the one that you want. You ain't even got to be religious, but you got to be exact. Like, as you can see, that assistant prayed for something, and the exact thing happened. So that's how he knew that was the one. Most people ask for something, and they'll let it pass them right on by. They'll let it slip right on by. Like, so, I mean, you take that from this.
that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said,
Send me away unto my master.
And her brother and her mother said,
Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at the least 10. After that she shall go.
And he said unto them,
Hinder me not, seeing the Lord hath prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master.
And they said,
We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth.
And they called Rebekah and said unto her,
Wilt thou go with this man?
And she said,
I will go.
And they sent away Rebekah their sister and her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto
Rebekah
her,
thinking she was going back with
Be thou the mother
sister.
of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them.
And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well of Lahairoi, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw,
Meditate.
and
That's the
behold,
first time I heard meditate, or that's the first time I read the Bible and like realized it said meditated. But shows you meditation is you're supposed to be meditating. It's not just a Buddhist thing. So they've been meditating for thousands of years. That's something I do every single day, and I make sure I pray. But I don't pray for like who y'all pray for. I mean, which most people pray to. Like I got my own set of beliefs, and I operate on that. It works for me, just like how the Bible works for these people that's in it. Like the same thing he prayed for it. Like he got a sign, I get those same signs without praying to they God. So, not saying this God is a bad God, but at the same time, this man. I mean, I ain't gonna judge him. But then that is, who am I to judge?
the camels were
But
coming.
it's a story. It's not like it's a real fucking guy, so I can judge him technically. Fuck it, dude. Who gonna stop me? It might be a Christian who's like, wait, who's this guy? Say he's fucking judging God. But if you was to read this shit for yourself with your third eye open, you'd be like, hey, I've been following this blindly. You never question, like most people never question none of this shit they read. Like, what the fuck? God damn, no wonder your life is fucked. It's people who just left like, oh shit, I didn't expect him to start talking about me. Nah, but I ain't gonna criticize nobody.
And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant,
What man is this that walketh in the field to meet us?
and the servant had said,
It is my master.
Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Chapter 25. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asherim, and Letushim, and Leamim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abida, and Eldaah. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 160 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham, that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Lahairoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and Abiel, and Mibzam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest toward Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said,
If it be so, why am I thus?
And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her,
2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And
See, when I first read the Bible as a kid, and like I was like, he came out red. Does that mean he was the white one and the other one was the black guy? And then like that's why they say 2 separate nations. They always fighting, but they are really brothers and like twins. So
that came his brother out, and his
I'm
hand
not
took
saying
hold
that's
on
true, but I'm
Esau's
just
heel,
saying that's what I
and
used
his
to think.
name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob,
Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said,
Sell me this day thy birthright.
And Esau said,
Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?
And Jacob said,
Swear to me this day.
And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said,
Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said,
She is my sister.
For he feared to say, She is my wife.
Lest,
said he,
the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac, and said,
Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister?
And Isaac said unto him,
Because I said, Lest I die for her.
And Abimelech said,
What is this thou hast done unto us?
Why do
One
they
of the people
keep
might likely have
doing
lied
that?
with thy wife.
Why do they keep lying and saying, no, that's my sister, and then trying to, God gonna curse the people who, like, of course, touches their wife? Like, why y'all don't just say, hey, nah, this is my wife? Like, how you know they gonna be like, oh, okay. Because you're supposed to be Abraham's son. Like, you rich, you wealthy, you got, like, an army damn near behind you. Like, but every time somebody trying to come take their wife, it's in their blood to say, oh, she's my sister. Well, technically, they do be, like, in kin to each other already, so are they really lying?
Thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us.
And Abimelech charged all his people, saying,
He that toucheth this man, or his wife, shall surely be put to death.
Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him, for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac,
Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying,
The water is ours.
And he called
That's
the name
'cause
of
you
the
ain't
well
heard me talk
Esek,
about it
because
yet.
they strove with him. And
That's his, you saying nice now, Roscoe. That's because you ain't heard me talk yet.
digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed
Make
from
sure you hit that
thence,
like
and digged
button,
another well. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said,
For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said,
I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy
I
seed.
mean, like right now, like what we're talking about, like I had just mentioned, like how Abraham, Isaac, and his son, like they, when it comes to somebody like that's coming to trying to take their wife, I mean, they always say that's my sister. I'm like, why you can't be straight up? Lot did that as well. Like, they never man up and say, nah, this is my wife. You can't have her. They quick to say, no, she's my sister. As soon as they wife gets snatched away, God will come like, hey, you better not touch her. Like, why would y'all have to go through all? Why God didn't warn them before they even came? Why? You know, I don't know. That's just what the issue, I didn't say issue, but that's the only thing I was talking about right now. Like, before, like, shit, you have to rewind this month to start from the beginning. You like, oh, shit, it's not what I thought it was. Like, cause I'm not a religious person. I grew up religious. I grew up in a Christian household, but I went out and like I tried to find my own way. Not tried to find my own way, but I tried to find my own answers. I got my own answers, but it's kind of led me back here, like fucking decoding what I've been taught my whole life. Like, well, not my whole life, but what I've been like brainwashed to believe. What was like the 100% truth. There is no lies. Like, so I'm starting from Genesis. We're gonna read. Even we're gonna read the. We'll listen to the Book of Enoch. That's not in the Bible, but that's on YouTube. So I'm gonna just not just listen to this Bible, but my goal is to listen to fucking the Quran, Buddhism, whatever else is out there. I just want to check it out, see what they got to say, and I'm gonna see myself which one is the best. Like, but I'm not in it. I'm not about to be following no religion. I just want to see which one like I resonate with more. And so far, I don't resonate with this one that much. Like, first of all, God is just like a human so far. He gets jealous. He be tempting motherfuckers to do wrong. Like, he be testing them. Like, and if you mess up one time, he gonna destroy you. Like, he gonna curse you for the rest of your life. Like, so, he's not really showing there is no love in his Bible so far. What I learned about women, they deceitful as fuck. Exactly, it is a full circle. Not women in real life is deceitful, but in this Bible so far, Eve, as you know what happened with her. Then Sarah, she was a fucked up individual. Like, so they don't have no type of respect for women in the Bible yet. So hopefully Rebecca, like, she can redeem women so far. But I don't have that type of belief about women. Like, I got the utmost respect for women. But as me, like, if I was to, like, the first book I read and the world is saying, hey, this is the right book, this is the whole truth, nothing but the truth. and everything that's in it, you're supposed to believe and go abide by 100%. Like right now, when we still in Genesis, chapter 8, I'd be like, okay, I don't trust women. All humans are evil except one or two. God hates this mother. Like God regrets making mankind. Like He didn't destroyed it what twice with Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah so far. Like I'm pretty sure He done did some other shit. Like just motherfuckers He don't like. Uh, he got enemies, but they don't tell us why. Like they the enemies. Like why can't Isaac marry a Canaanite woman? What's wrong with them? Like so. And what I just mentioned with just with Esau and Jacob being born, like is Esau uh, the white guy, and Jacob the black guy? Cause he came out super red, and they're always at war. They're always fighting each other. Like so, I don't know. That was a thought I had as a kid. Like I always thought Esau was white, but can't be because like I mean it can be because black women can give birth to like any type of color kids, but it's to say like black people was here first. Cause he was talking about when he first created Earth and the rivers he mentioned it like it was near Egypt, so that's Africa. Like so, we talking about black people here now. Like so, all the women is saying, "Hey, don't even trust these black women." But I don't, like I said, I don't believe that's true. I just here to listen for myself, trying to be open minded, not trying to like turn anybody against religion or anything. I'm just like listening to it for myself and like giving my take on it. Like this is basically my reaction on the Bible. So hope you like it.
For my servant Abraham's sake.
And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahazath one of his friends, and Phicol the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them,
Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you?
And they said,
We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord.
And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him,
We have found water.
And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Bashemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Chapter 27. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him,
My son.
And he said unto him,
Behold, here am I.
And he said,
Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow.
Bro, y'all ain't have to do it. Y'all could
field
have just read
and
this
take
shit straight. Like, y'all damn near can't hear what you saying. You trying to act old and shit. Indigo, we back, baby. Exactly.
some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it.
Well,
and Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son.
Rebecca did not redeem the women, because she did some snake shit by making Jacob do that when it was supposed to be Esau. So I thought fucking she was going thought Rebecca would redeem women so far. she did. Lot wife and fucking disobeyed and turned and looked at Sodom and Gomorrah and fucking killed herself. And then Lot's daughter fucking got him drunk and slept with him and had his children. Like, so damn, dude. I'm not to say women ain't shit, but in the Bible, so far, women are deceitful, conniving, like evil. And I'm not saying they are, but in the Bible, like if I was to have my grandma in here right now, like I'd be like, hey, ain't this what you serve? And ain't this what you told me I should be like reading my whole life and I should be going by? So I should have no respect for you. Like that's what I get from the Bible. But I don't take this like that. So I don't take this literal. It's just a story. Exactly.
Saying,
Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
and Jacob said to Rebekah his mother,
Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me,
white people,
and I shall seem to him as a deceiver.
White people are very hairy. Like I was in the military, and like they super hairy, and black people they not really that much hairy. So was Esau white? Was this the first creation of white people? Esau, and fucking Jacob was black. Cause interesting. If you're new to the live, please like, hey, finally, babe, finally, your moderator came through.
And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing.
And his mother said unto him,
Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them.
And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau.
It wasn't white. In this story, it ain't white people that's on the shit. It's the black woman and her son. Well, the son really don't want to do it because he like, hey, my dad gonna know it. Shit ain't weird, but at the same time, like Esau, like he don't know nothing about it. Like shit, he was going to do what he was told to do. But the mom was in there sneaking and peeking and listening and say, hey, you do this so you get the blessing. Your older brother don't get the blessing. You get it. So, like I said, I thought women was going to redeem themselves in the Bible yet so far, but they haven't. So, I ain't got respect for Rebecca, Sarah, Lot wife, Lot daughters, Eve. Like, who else they mentioned in the Bible so far? I ain't got respect. I mean, Noah's wife, they ain't say nothing negative about her. Like, so I guess. But they ain't even mention her too much. Like, I don't even remember her name.
Which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said,
My father.
And he said,
Here am I. Who art thou, my son?
And Jacob said unto his father,
I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit, and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
And Isaac said unto his son,
How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son?
And he said,
Because the Lord thy God brought it to me.
And Isaac said unto Jacob,
Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father.
See, she likes to hold on to like what her thought. Like if it comes to your thought, say it. Cause I mean, you probably heard me say something. I thought I was disrespecting women, but no, you know I love women. Say it. If y'all want to hear Angel say what's on her mind, tell her to say it. Don't hold.
Filled him and said,
The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said,
Art thou my very son, Esau?
And he said,
I am.
And he said,
Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee.
And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him,
Come near now, and kiss me, my son.
And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said,
See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father,
Let my father arise,
Hey,
and
this
eat
is-
of his son's venison,
This is a
that thy
free
son...
space to say what you want to say. Ain't nobody gonna judge you off your beliefs. And you got me. Got your back.
may bless me.
And Isaac his father said unto him,
Who art thou?
And he said,
I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said,
Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before that.
And he can't curse his son because he said whoever curses thee gets cursed back. So it's too late.
Camest and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father,
Bless me, even me also, O my father.
And he said,
Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing.
And he said,
Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath
Yo. It's fucked up, right? But here's the fucked up, even more fucked up part about it. Or the better part about it. He spoke it into existence. Like he blessed them with his words. He could have did it again. But that, like, what he spoke in that moment, like, it was so, like he believed, like, I mean, like I said, he could have did it again. Hey, let me see. I'll just tell you later, but when does he say like the rabbit from Winnie the Pooh? Why did that? You do sound like I can't remember his name. The slow one.
Granted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
And he said,
Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau,
Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
That's why the Hebrew Israelites think everybody's supposed to serve them, because they think they the black guys and Esau is the white guys. So they got it in their head. We believe in what the Bible says because we know they was talking about black people. We know the blessings is ours. Like, and then I hear a lot of them say like the Jews are not the real Jews, but I'm like, I don't like that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Like I don't know who. It don't matter. But at the same time, now understanding like I see why they feel how they feel and why they be treating women how they treat women because they take this shit for real. Like it's I don't know. I don't.
And Esau said unto his father,
Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father.
And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him,
Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion.
Fuck. Wow. His dad really made him just double down on, yeah, you gotta serve your brother. He ain't speak nothing highly. He could have, like I said, he could have spoke highly of Esau, but he said, nope. I believe, like, you gotta serve your brother. That's crazy.
Thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart,
The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
And these words of Esau her elder son were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him,
Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send, and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day?
And Rebekah said to Isaac,
I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me?
Chapter 28. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him,
Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee.
Go get you a wife, and y'all need to go fucking have a bunch of kids. Like, literally, that's what he's saying. Spread your seed so it can fucking multiply. That's why I got 7 kids. Like, what? I'm doing what the Bible say do. I'm spreading my seed. Y'all need to do the damn thing.
To thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger.
Literally, if you have a bunch of kids and you teach your kids the right way, you can inherit the land. Imagine 7 of my kids being multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires because of how I raised them. Then they having kids, and they teaching their kids the same thing, and their kids having kids. Bruh, we about to run this motherfucking world, and it's gonna start with me.
Which God gave unto Abraham.
And Isaac sent away Jacob.
It is, but hey, it gotta be done. It gotta be done.
He went to Padan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying,
Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said,
I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west and to the east.
Land was free back then. How everything cost so much? Like, literally, all you had to do was lay your head on the rock, have a dream, and say, hey, stay right here. This is yours now. And then just have a bunch of kids and y'all just expand. Bruh, I would.
And to the north, and to the south, and in thee, and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of.
And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said,
Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not.
And he was afraid and said,
How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven.
And Jacob rose up early in the morning and
That
took the
boy
stone that he had put for his pillars,
exaggerated the
and
fuck
set it
out
up
of
for
that
a
dream,
pillar,
didn't he?
and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying,
If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. And this stone, which I have set...
Oh, so that wasn't his God at first, but he said, okay, you came to me in the dream, so if you stay with me through my whole journey till I get back, then I'll serve you as a God. So God was just recruiting people. Like, literally, he was just recruiting people, like, guiding them on their fucking journey. Me, I got my ancestors that got me on my journey. Because I know they was here. I know, like, shit, I got Nipsey Hussle spirit to call on. Like, shit, all I got to do is watch an interview, listen to some music, and that guides me through life. Like, so, I can call on anybody I want. And I'm willing to sit down and learn the information to study and get through life. Like, at first I called on God, but I wasn't hearing God. I wasn't having dreams of God like they was. Like, so I always thought this shit was kind of exaggerated. But at the same time, you gotta have some type of imagination. Like, you gotta put something together. But like I said, I always
shall be God's.
I always took this as just like another fairy tale, even as a kid. Just from like Jonah, like getting swallowed by the fish. Like, I'm like, man, that couldn't have happened in real life. Like, just certain things. Like, I'm like, this gotta be like it's super exaggerated. It's a fairy tale.
House. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee.
Chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep.
You know what I realized? What I realized for myself and what the Bible is talking about, they're making it seem like there's something on the outside you have to believe in to get what you want. Me, I understand it comes from within. Like, I don't have to, like, pray to God or Jesus to get to where I'm going. Like, I've learned to follow my intuition and my guides. It's basically the same thing, but I don't got nobody on the outside, like, speaking and telling me what to do. Like, this is literally all me. Like, so I understand that's where the Bible goes wrong. It makes you depend on something that you think, like, that you've never seen, never heard. Because this book says that's what it is. That's what you follow blindly. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all because I don't know who believes in what, but yeah, this Bible is making it seem like, hey, it's something on the outside of you that's guiding you. It's not. Don't follow your own intuition. Like, and I guess if they ain't had no, I don't know. Programming. That's all I hear. Programming.
Stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them,
My brethren, whence be ye?
And they said,
Of Haran are we.
And he said unto them,
Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor?
And they said,
We know him.
And he said unto them,
Is he well?
And they said,
He is well, and behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep.
And he said,
Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together.
Exactly.
Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them.
You said perfect, Mr. Everest. It seemed like in the Bible is you're not in control of your fucking destiny. Like, it's not on you. And if you don't listen, you get penalized. God will curse you if you do what He say. Like, you fail miserably. Your life, you die. But we all gonna die one day. Like that's the whole thing. Like he cursing people with death, but we all gonna die. But sometimes I think God gives signs. Maybe like you said, trust Him. I get signs 24/7 in it, but I know it's because of my spirituality and my awareness. Like when I was in church and I was a Christian, I never got those signs. Never in my life, like ever. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh shit! I started seeing things repeatedly. But to know, like you said, they want you to feel like you're not in control. You don't have no control over your life, and people don't. Like that's why they depend on the Bible. That's why their life is on autopilot.
He said,
We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep.
and while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him,
Surely thou art my bone, and my flesh.
And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob,
Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said,
He said that bitch. I'm gonna start saying that she tender-eyed. What the fuck does that mean? Bitch, ugly as fuck.
I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
And Laban said,
It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban,
Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban,
What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
And Laban said,
It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also, for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said,
Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction.
So
Now
he gave the ugly one, like he made her get pregnant because old girl was getting like, she was ugly, like she was tender-eyed. How many tender-eyed women you know out there that got a bunch of kids? And how many pretty women you know that don't got that many kids? Hey, that's because
or my husband will love me.
And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said,
Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also.
And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said,
Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons.
Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she said,
Now will I praise the Lord.
Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing.
That's how God was recruiting his people. Like he was blessing them with kids. That ain't no blessing. Like, goddamn. She done had back to back to back to back to back to. So that means he was still sleeping with her, whether she was ugly or not. whether he hated her or not, he was still fucking her. Like, and the old girl wasn't, like, the pretty one, what, Rachel, she wasn't getting pregnant. Like,
Chapter 30. And when
I'm going back, I'm a Christian now. God blessed me with 2 wives. Both of them beautiful. Since it's, like, so prevalent in Christianity, like, why shouldn't I just go back to being a Christian? Why not? To those out there, what's wrong, like, for real? What's wrong with being a Christian? Especially when you woke. And you know the truth about this whole thing. But I'm not about to preach there's something on the outside of you that's guiding you. So I can't. I'm not a Christian. So I'll take that from Christianity, though.
saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob,
Give me children, or else I die.
and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said,
Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
and she said,
Behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
and she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said,
God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son.
Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said,
With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed.
and she called his name Naphtali.
Yet,
When
though.
Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son.
Bruh, they just having kids and say, hey, you have my maid and get pregnant. I'm like, what? I know Jacob is just loving it, but his dad did say go and multiply. So that what, of course, he's doing what the Lord told him to do. The Lord told me to multiply. That's why I got 7 kids. I'm telling you, I grew up a Christian, so I was following that. Like this, I probably did love Jacob. Is Joseph Jacob's son? Like, I can't remember, but Joseph is one of my favorite, like, characters in the Bible. Like, so if Joseph is Jacob's son, like, I fuck with Jacob way more, honestly.
And Leah said,
A troop cometh.
and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said,
Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed.
and she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah,
Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes.
and she said unto her,
Is it a small...
I'm going to start my religion, and this is the only part I'm going to have of it. This is, like, what we hear in Genesis, in these chapters, this is going to be the basis. I'm just playing. I ain't going to do that shit.
matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also?
and Rachel said,
Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's
I don't see
mandrakes.
my wife coming
and
in
Jacob
no
came
more.
out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said,
Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes.
and he lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said,
God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband.
and she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob.
Yo, like, how many fucking, like, is there a break in between them getting pregnant? God damn, like, who's taking care, like, who feeding all the kids? Like, who cooking? Who's changing shitty diapers? Bro, you know how many shitty, like, I don't even want to think about it. Now that I think about it, like, damn, that's too much of a fucking headache. How many fucking crying babies on a nightly basis? Like, ain't nobody getting no sleep. How's they getting to do all this sex when you got babies that need to be took care of? Like, it's crazy. Like, but at the same time, it's a story. So, who am I to judge?
6th son. And Leah said,
God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons.
and she called his name Zebulun. And afterward she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a son, and said,
God hath taken away my reproach.
And she called his name Joseph and said,
The Lord shall add to me another son.
So Jacob finally got Rachel pregnant after he done had damn near 100 kids. And Joseph, well, it ain't 100 kids, it's like, but he had a bunch of kids. And he finally had a baby by the one he loved the most. And it will end up being his favorite son, but you know the story of Joseph, so.
And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban,
Send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee.
And Laban said unto him,
I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake.
And he said,
Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
And he said unto him,
I hate to keep pausing it, but when you got multiple people like believing in one like entity, like that's giving it way more power. That's why God is like orchestrating, making everybody get pregnant. Because if you believe in something, like that's gonna get like that's why he ain't wanting them people worshiping idols, because it was giving them power. Like, so he's a jealous God, he envious God, got a big ego, so he gonna make things happen just for his sake. It ain't for the Jacob and them best interest, like they having all this kids. Like, this is all over jealousy, envy. Like, this is a fucking toxic ass fucking like family, honestly. Like, I don't want no toxic ass shit like that. If it came down to it, fuck that.
Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also?
And he said,
What shall I give thee?
And Jacob said,
Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me.
And Laban said,
Behold, I would it might be according to thy word.
And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-streaked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them
Now that I think about it, if I'm gonna be doing this Bible series, it's people gonna come to my channel and think I'm a Christian, because they're gonna it's gonna be nothing but fucking a bunch of fucking streams of different books of the Bible. Like, so just imagine when those people start clicking and hearing what I got to say. Like, how many of those people is gonna throw hate comments in these videos? Like, or how many people is like gonna think different and have a different perspective on it? Then how many people gonna like, oh fuck this shit, get this nigga out of here. Like, but me, I'm just doing my purpose. Like, this is literally my purpose. They're gonna think you doing devil's work. That's what they thought I did in my past life. So hey, I can't. That's one thing I guess I can't get rid of. Like, motherfuckers think I'm doing the devil's work, but at the same time, I'm not. Like, once we get to Jesus, once we get to what Matthew's Acts, like, you'll understand. Like, oh, he is not like that. But I'm just like, whoever wrote this shit, like, they ain't. This was, you could tell this was for like somebody's purpose. Like, they had some evil intentions when they wrote this book. Like, so could you educate and wake up? Exactly. So I don't need like the majority of like the people to like fuck with my shit. Honestly, I just need the ones who's supposed to wake up, the chosen ones. Like, cause that's who my shit is for. My shit is for those who are already woke. My shit ain't for somebody who's asleep and about to wake up. Like, that's why this is gonna be a shocker to a lot of people, because there is a lot of sleep people out there that's like, hey, it's gonna be Sunday tomorrow and I'm going live talking about the Bible. So how Ain't no telling who's gonna show up, and then they gonna hear what the fuck I'm saying. But I'm not about to shy away, like hold back nothing, and like I'm gonna just keep going full throttle no matter what. Like that's why I'm gonna need more moderators. I got my wife as one, Tasha, and then Brian. So 3 of them so far, but Mr. I don't know. I'll be saying Mount Everest, but it's Mr. Everest. But when I see your name, I think of the mountain. Like you be commenting a lot, so you may become one. Like, but yeah, like you said, they gonna think I'm doing the devil's work, but the devil's not nothing on the outside of you that's making you do bad shit. It's the negative thoughts. It's the negative self-talk that you do to yourself. It's the fucking judgmental and the fucking all the bad shit that you think about on the daily. That's the devil. It ain't no person like that's questioning something they reading. Like, cause if you don't question what you read, then motherfucker, you a robot. God damn it.
And of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and pilled white streaks in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. Chapter 31. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying,
Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory.
And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Lord said unto Jacob,
Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee.
And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them,
I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before. But the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus,
the ugly daughter first, and then he gave him Rachel, but made him work a total of 14 years and still like doing shiesty shit. Like it'd be the family, it'd be the one that you think you can trust, really you can't. That's why I don't trust nobody.
the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring-straked. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointedst the pillar, and where thou vowedst a vow unto me. Now arise.
He never said, when God be presenting himself to people, he never says, I'm the God of the universe. I'm the God creator of all. Like, he always say, I'm the God of this and that. Like, just like how in Greek mythology is the God of lightning, Zeus, and Poseidon is the God of the ocean, the seas. And Hades is the God of the underworld. Like, it's always a God of something. But this one is just flexing. Like he said, nah, this book is solely about me. I don't want how Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology got all these gods. Christianity is about one God, like so. But there is a God above that, and it's not considered God. That's compared to the creator of all of this. Like my mind couldn't even fathom it. Like I could judge the person in this book because I know it's just a character. It's a level. It's levels to it. There's always levels to it. This is not the creator of all there is to know in existence. This is the creator of fucking humans and earth and heaven. That's what he says. He never says, I created Mars. Well, it did say he created the stars, but those are just suns that die out. Like, so everything this God creates dies. He's not the God of eternal, everlasting. He can't grant that's why he never granted nobody immortality. Like literally, if you're the God of all this, why you can't make me live forever if I've been your servant, if I've been doing the right thing my whole life? He done tested Abraham so many times, made this nigga about to kill his son, sacrifice his son, made him fucking circumcise himself and every man that was around him, like no matter how old they was. Like he just kept testing Abraham and told him, hey, your seed is gonna take over this world basically. But what does that mean for Abraham when he's dead? Like grant me the ability to see that, to live through that. Like me understanding how spirits work, like I understand, like yeah, his spirit does see how everyone is operating, and he's the ancestor of all of them. So he's just got as more power as God, so to say, when he transitions over, because everybody gonna say Abraham and God's Abraham, or whoever Abraham was following. But God still haven't told you his real name. I'm pretty sure in another probably Bible it probably do say that, but in this one, he hasn't told us his real name. He hasn't told us how he's created.
Get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him,
Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house?
Are we not counted of him strangers?
For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do.
Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle, and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padan-aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him,
That's how he comes to people in their
that thou
dreams.
speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob,
What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters, as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods?
And Jacob answered and said to Laban,
Because I was afraid. For I said, Peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee.
for Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the
Rachel a little thief. Like, literally, every woman they didn't fucking mention so far in the Bible's got something fucking wrong, doing something they shouldn't be doing. Goddamn, Rachel the thief. Sarah be beating on other chicks, jealous. Goddamn. Shit. We need a Bible. There needs to be a Bible like with a woman's perspective instead of this man's perspective. Like, who knows of a fucking Bible that's written by a woman? Is there any women prophets like that's been fucking known? That's why I like Egyptian mythology and Greek mythology, because that honors women. Fucking this religion doesn't.
Furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father,
Let it not displease, my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me.
And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban,
What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff. What hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here, before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts, I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night? Thus I was, in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, had sent me away now empty. God hath seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight.
And answered and said unto Jacob,
These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee.
And Jacob took a stone, and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren,
Gather stones.
And they took stones, and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said,
This heap is a witness between me and thee this day.
Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. And Mizpah, for he said,
The Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee.
And Laban said to Jacob,
Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us.
And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban returned unto his place. Chapter 32. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said,
This is God's host.
And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying,
Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there till now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find grace in thy sight.
And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying,
We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him.
Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. And he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds and the camels into 2 bands, and said,
If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape.
And Jacob said,
O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saidst unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau.
God was putting them in
For I fear
situations
him,
where it made
lest
them
he-
depend on him. Like, literally, he was knowing, like, Esau wasn't going to do shit. Because Esau heard what that blessing was. So he know he not about to curse himself. But still, God was like, yeah, we're going to bring him and make him fear and then make him believe more in me, pray, call him more on me. And then once nothing happens and he think I'm doing, like, that stopped it, voila. Now Jacob's whole tree will believe in me, and everything they believe in will believe in me. Like, so God was playing chess like with humans, even though he created them. Like, he could have just let everybody know at once, ominously in all their dreams, say, hey, I'm the one in true all. I'm the creator of all. You all shall worship me. No other God. There is no other God. But nah, he knew there was other gods, so he like, I need my own. God has basically like been recruiting this whole time, testing people and seeing who was meant a loyal follower. He ain't want nobody who would fall trick over no fucking apple from no serpent. He ain't want Lot wife who turned around when he said don't turn around. Like, he ain't want no unloyal people around him. Like, so I understand. Man, now I got way more respect for God for the simple fact of how he operated. Like, he don't want, like I said, he don't want to get backstabbed like Jesus, even though you couldn't backstab God, but still, God was testing everybody. No matter how long he knew him, he made sure he kept testing them to see how loyal they was. Like, he never took nothing for granted. Like, so, hey, just got that epiphany right there about God.
And smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude.
And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants,
Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove.
And he commanded the foremost, saying,
When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose of these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us.
And so commanded he the second
Jacob
and the
sounds like
third,
a
and
bitch
all
to
that
me.
followed the drove, saying,
On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us.
For he said,
I will appease him with the present that goeth before me.
Hey,
And
Jacob
afterward I
playing
will
the
see.
art of war. Like, he playing the 48 laws of power, acting like I'm a servant to the all great Esau. Like, so he don't, so he can have sympathy on him. Like, so I see the role Jacob playing. Like, he may act like a bitch, but he ain't really no bitch.
Face. Pervin.
Jacob is a womanizer. Jacob cares about the women. Like, as you can see, as many kids he got, he about getting girls. Like, even though he got 2 hours, like, he was willing to work 14 years for a woman. Like, so that's what his main focus on. Like, so
he will accept of me.
So went the present over before
Don't
him,
none of these
and
niggas
himself
got no
lodged
real
that night in the
purpose.
company. And he rose up that night and
Like the people God using, don't none of them got no real purpose, like to like serve. All their job is to like populate the world. That's what their job is. Have sex and populate. Don't think. Don't ask what your true mission is on this planet. Do what I say. Like, it's crazy, right?
his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and set them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said,
Let me go, for the day breaketh.
And he said,
I will not let thee go, except thou bless me.
And he said unto him,
What is thy name?
And he said,
Jacob.
And he said,
Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed.
And Jacob asked him and said,
Tell me, I pray thee, thy name.
And he said,
Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?
And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel.
For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved.
And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said,
Who are those with thee?
And he said,
The children, which God hath graciously given thy servant.
Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near, and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said,
What meanest thou by all this drove which I met?
And he said,
These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord.
And Esau said,
I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself.
And Jacob said,
Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough.
And he urged him, and he took it, and he said,
Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee.
And he said unto him,
My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Lord, unto Seir.
And Esau said,
Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me.
And he said,
What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord.
So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan-aram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he brought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it El Elohe Israel. Chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her, and lay with her, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying,
Get me this damsel to wife.
And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying,
The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein.
And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren,
Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said to them,
We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised. That were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you. If ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us, to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone.
And their word pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying,
These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi,
Ye have troubled me, to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me. And I shall be destroyed, I and my house.
And they said,
Should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
Chapter 35. And God said unto Jacob,
Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother.
Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him,
Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise, and go up to Bethel. And I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went.
And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them.
This God is in the Bible is just like he's the one who's like putting in all the work. Like he must be a younger God. Like the older guys must have got lazy. Like because people been worshiping for over all them times. He like he popping up in dreams. Like he's showing up. Like got angels popping up too. Like so I respect it.
and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alon-Bacuth. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan-aram, and blessed him. And God said unto him,
Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him,
I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land.
And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him, Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her,
Fear not, thou shalt have this son also.
And it came to pass as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed, and spread his tent beyond the tower of Eder. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel.
See, another thing, when people die in the Bible, it don't say nothing about their spirit still being lingering around. Like, but I know, like, I didn't feel like spirits around me of my ancestors. Like, whether it was just me smelling the scent, or like just having a thought like that, I know that's when my ancestors are showing up. But the only person who shows up is God. But then again, people wasn't spiritually awakened back then either. Like, this was a bunch of like people who don't question nothing. Like, they just easily deceived. And I mean, you got some loyal people, but overall, like, they easily tricked. Like, I can gain the easily following back then if I was around.
Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan-aram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Chapter 36. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibamah bare Jeush, and Jaalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them, because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel: Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jaolam, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau: Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah. And these are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son: Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Ruel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife: Duke Jeush, Duke Jaolam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lotan, and Shobal, and Zibeon, and Anah, and Dishon, and Ezer, and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anah were these: Dishon, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishon: Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Kiran. The children of Ezer are these: Bilhan, and Zaavan, and Achan. The children of Dishan are these: Uz, and Aaron. These are the dukes that came of the Horites: Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anah, Duke Dishon, Duke Anah, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori, among their duke in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham of the land of Temani reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Puh, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jetheth, Duke Aholibamah, Duke Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them,
Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf...
First, Joseph's first mistake was telling people his dreams. You can't tell nobody your dreams. You gotta keep your dreams to yourself, because the people is gonna hate, even if they family. Because obviously, it may not stem from just a dream, but just the overall, they dad loved him the most. So, of course, Joseph didn't know his brothers was envious of him. He was just sharing his dream. Dana, I'm still on live. Yes, Dana. But hey, this is leading into my favorite story. So I'm going to actually end the book right here for tonight. And then we're gonna finish up Genesis tomorrow on Sunday. So thank you guys for tuning in. I ain't really try to talk that much in this episode, but I did with 2 hours and 30 minutes. That ain't bad for tonight. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Peace. We out.